Good morning, this is Gabriel Jack, and welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day, number 72, part 2, using the Sefer HaChinuch, a mitzvah that keeps your soul in its way. Not to change the order of the produce obligations dedicated to our holy idea of soldiers, the hostages, and anyone who's struggling mentally. May you also be free from being a hostage and be happy, extra happy, in this holy month of Adar, where there's a mitzvah to be extra happy. Okay, the Chinuch, which again is the name of the author, explains what must be done with these portions once they have been set aside. We talked about Truma for the Kohen, Meiser Rishon for the Levi, Meiser Sheni for yourself, to be redeemed in Jerusalem. The Truma is given to a Kohen, and the Meiser Rishon to a Levi, okay? And as for the Meiser Sheni, its owner eats it in Jerusalem. We'll see that he can redeem it for money, eat it where he is, and then spend the money in Jerusalem. The Chinuch proceeds to discuss the mitzvah at hand. It is in accordance with the above sequence that we are obligated to set aside these portions from the produce, and in this regard, an injunction was transmitted to us that we not give precedence to what ought to be delayed, nor delay what ought to have precedence. As it is stated, do not delay your grain or your fluid produce obligations. This verse is to be understood as though it states, among the produce obligations that you set aside from your grain and your fluid, do not postpone those which ought to have precedence. Do it in its proper order. Truma for the Kohen, Meiser, Rishon for Levi, Meiser, Sheni for yourself. Years 1, 2, 4, and 5. Among the underlying purposes of this mitzvah is the concept that when matters are performed in their proper order, we're coming to Pesach, we have the order of Pesach, right? Seder, that's what it means, order. That when matters are performed in the proper order, confusion and error will not occur in them. But when they are not performed thus in order, error will be ever present in the execution of these matters. Now, since Trumos and Meisters are of great importance in ensuring the endurance of our faith, as we shall explain with the help of Hashem in Parshas Re'eh, in Mitzvahs number 450 and Mitzvahs number 473, and in Parshas Shofti, Mitzvah number 507, Hashem, blessed be He, commanded us to be exceedingly careful with regard to them, so that we never arrive at an error when calculating them. Upon hearing a better explanation of the purpose of this mitzvah from those who are learned in Kabbalah, we shall accept it. Among the laws of this mitzvah is that which the sages of blessed memory have stated in Shumas, that if one transgressed and among the produce obligations gave precedence to one that ought not have precedence, what he did is nevertheless effective. That is, we do not obligate him to go back and mix everything together and to then set aside the Trumas and Meises a second time. There is an additional tribute that must be set aside from the produce known as Bikurim, which Chinuch did not describe above. That's we'll talk about that. Nonetheless, Chinuch explains that the sages interpret the verse of our mitzvah in a matter that applies to Bikurim as well. Also among the laws of the mitzvah is that which the sages expanded in Tractate Tamura and in Mechilta, when the verse describing our mitzvah mentions Miliachtacha, which literally means your fullness. This is a reference to the Bikurim, which are taken from the fullness of the crop, the first part. That is to say, before anything else is taken from it, that is the connotation of the term fullness. It means to say that the crop is entirely complete, as no part has been removed from it. And when the verse mentions Vidimacha, this is a reference to Truma. And the verse states regarding these, you may not delay, which teaches that you may not give precedence to Truma over Bikurim. These laws and additional details of this mitzvah are set forth in Tractate Tamura. Okay, we're really in the home stretch. Let's do the home stretch. It's a little bit longer today, but we'll get through it. Here we go. This prohibition applies to both men and women, but only in Eretz Yisrael, and only in a time when the Jewish people are settled there. This is in accordance with the opinion of the Rambam of blessed memory, Maimonides, who wrote that the biblical obligation of Truma and Meisers are applicable only when Eretz Yisrael is properly settled. One who violates this prohibition and gives precedence to some of these items over others in a manner that is not in accordance with their proper sequence is considered as one who has violated the command of the king. Nevertheless, one does not incur malchus, lashes, for this transgression, for thus has the matter been clarified there in Tractate Tamura, that this prohibition does not bear a malchus penalty. That was your mitzvah. Thanks for listening. Please pause for Mitzvah 36, 100 for the gold. See you tomorrow.